Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Tryon. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Look at what I'm going to be painting. So cute. Take a look. We'll show you. This is Golden Home for the holidays, and it's one of so many cute. These are paint by numbers, you guys. See, look. Halfway done, paint by numbers, all the way done. I'm starting this one again, and if you've thought about trying to learn to paint, or maybe you joined us for any of our watercolor Wednesdays that we've had in the past. Sometimes we don't always have what it takes to pull this off on our own. And that's what's so cool about the paint by number sets that I've been working with in the last little while, is that you really don't need to have all kinds of artistic talent. You can just enjoy the process of painting. I'm going to show you a few of these different paintings just before we get started, and then I'm going to dive right into painting this little golden retriever guy. First, let me say hi to some people who are tuned in tonight. Let me know where you are joining from. I'd love to see where you're tuning in from tonight. So this is Golden Welcome for the holidays. There's so many cute Christmas prints, even for kids. Take a look at some of these ones that are great for the kids. This is the Penguin Parade. Yeah, isn't that great? Look at this guy. Oh no, this one's the Penguin Parade. Look at that, so cute. These are really great for like maybe you're having a bunch of people over for the holidays, and it's a mix of parents and kids, and you want to have something for everyone to do. This is just really fun. They're really affordable. They're really easy to do. And we're going to get painting in just a few minutes. I just wanted to show you a couple of these. I'm going to just go in on my phone here and see who's, I'm going to mute that. Yeah, let me know where you're tuning in from. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Marie Agnes. How's everybody doing? It's been a minute. All right, take a look at some of these. I'm going to start with the holiday ones because honestly, we're all in that mood right now. This one is Twilight in Winter Hollow. You can kind of get a look at, this is the painting completed. This is us halfway. You can kind of see, we'll zoom in a little bit later, but you will be able to see up close the numbers. Once you've painted it, you can't see the numbers at all. Like here, there's white, like we haven't done 15 there. You can't see the numbers once you've painted, but I love this one. This one I think is my second favorite. My favorite's the one I'm going to paint tonight. This is the Festive Nutcracker Brigade. Isn't that so cool just to be able to hang this up at Christmas time, knowing that you've painted it yourself? Here, halfway done, you can kind of see like the numbers here, and all the way done. This one's the Nutcracker Brigade. You'll see on the top of your screen, do we have the QR code? Xavier's behind the camera for me tonight. Thank you for being here, Exie. And he found a way to put the QR code up on the screen if you wanted to take a look. I'm going to have these on TSC on Thursday. I have shows at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. So if you want to tune in, or you can scan the QR code that we've got on that side of the screen. You can scan that QR code and take a look at them. This one is the Snowy Cardinal Cottage. This one is going to be super popular. I know it already. The Cardinals, last time we had them on. Actually, let's show them overhead. This one's so beautiful. That blue is just going to pop, and just being able to change these out. If you're into the birds, you might like this one too, that we're going to have on. This is the festive and Christmassy birds on a snowy branch. Very literal title. We got halfway on this one, so we can see the numbers. And we tried to get like halfway so that on the shows we can be, it takes a little while to paint these. Like you could be at it, most of the winter months if you stretched it out. If you just did like, a few minutes here and there, leave it out. This is Warm Hearts on Ice. It's kind of, if you know a brunette and a blonde, maybe this would be a great gift to give to them. Just super cute. And you'll never know. Paint by numbers. There's a couple more sort of more wintry. This one's a Norwegian fjord cabin. If you have something for the cottage, that'd be cute. Hi, Penny. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Alexandra. Thank you guys so much. Hi, Carolyn. It's a snowy night here in Kingston. So it's kind of a perfect night to get painting. Look at this, Winnie's bookshop. So cute. Maybe you have a little library at home and you'd want to put something up that you painted yourself. This is the kind of thing you can do. They're super affordable. I'm going to show you what it comes with in just a minute when we get painting, but there's also, it's not just Christmas ones. There's tons of nautical ones. There's like all kinds, there's like even some Monets, some, yeah, go ahead, tell me. You want to show? Yeah, sorry, I thought Xavier was talking to me. This is the Normandy Lighthouse, watching over the sailors. That's what this one's called. If you've got more of a nautical theme. Look at this one, Poppies, Claude Monet. I actually think of the non-Christmas ones, this one is my favorite. It's so soft, so beautiful. Got to get a little bit more done on this one here, you can see, but they come together pretty quickly. And there's 3 different levels. I'm going to get to painting in just a second, but I'll just explain. There's 3 different levels. And they say it's difficulty. It's really not any more difficult to do like a beginner, like a kid's one, like one of these ones that that I showed you, or to do like a level 2 or a level 3. It just means that the space. So for example, this one here, this is a level 2 difficulty. Beautiful, beautiful. But what you'll see is that it's just got larger spaces to paint. So when we're painting this one, you can see like number 10 here, it's really, really big. And so, it just goes by a little faster. It doesn't have quite as many small little numbers. So if you see on the listing, if you're going to get any of these, difficulty level 2, it just means that the spaces are bigger. This would be another level 2, the floral bouquet. Gorgeous, beautiful. Just has bigger petals, bigger spaces to paint in. So that's what makes it a level 2. And then again, level 2 here, the Mediterranean Delight. Maybe you've gone on a trip to some sort of Mediterranean destination, and this would sort of spark that memory. This again is a level 2. And then if we got into something like the Wave here, if you're into like the Great Wave, we've got some smaller spaces, but again, big spaces here. So it's not like if you can't do it, like you won't be able to see it. There's lots of big spaces, especially if you're opting for the difficulty level 2. I'm trying to see if I've got a 3. So this would be an example of a 3 where essentially there's just a little more detail, but it's not any harder. The numbers are just, or the little spaces are just a little bit smaller, but that's just going to give you, a little bit more contrast. But quite frankly, I'd say just go for the one that you're inspired to paint, because they're really not any harder or easier. If you want to get through it quicker, the level 2s will be where you're at. Okay, I've gone through most of them here. You can have a peruse online. Again, Xavier, the little tech whiz, was great. He put up the QR code on the top of the screen there if you want to check out TSC.ca. The kids ones come in boxes like this. And the harder difficulty, level 2, level 3, I'm just going to move this table and we're going to get to painting. Those ones come in tubes. So I'll push this aside. We're good. Nice to have it on wheels, hey? I'll push this aside. Hi, Pam. Hi, Babette. Thank you guys for joining in. And then let's just make sure we're getting this centered so you guys can see on the overhead camera exactly what it is that I'm painting here. You'll see this is the tube I was talking about. So when you get yours home, it'll come like this. And if you just open it up, and then the canvas is inside, and all of the paints and the brushes. So the paints and the brushes are there. Actually, I'll sit down. You don't have to tilt it. It's okay. I'll sit down. My head's out of frame, I think. So what's great about The kits, wooden handled brushes, not plastic brushes. Great. There's a variety. There's 4 of them, pointy tipped, a squared off one for those larger spaces, and then all the colors that you need. You know, when you think about paint by numbers, you sometimes think of like when you were a kid and like it was sort of something that you could get at a toy department. This is not that kind of paint by number. It's on a real stretched canvas. You will want to frame this afterwards. It is acrylic paint, so they dry pretty quickly. Make sure I don't lose that. But it's really, really nice quality. You're going to see as we get going here. So I've got my golden home, golden welcome for the holidays. And you're going to put on camera 4? Is that what you're telling? Just speak. You can just. Oh, the painting. Oh, the light. Yeah. I've started again this one. This is the one I'm going to work on TSC on Thursday. We've got shows, I said, 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. I think Xavier's got it there. So essentially what I'm doing here is pulling out all of the little paints, and I've got my brushes, and all you need is just some plain water and some paper towel. And I kind of liken this to kind of just keeping out, you know how sometimes you'll put out a puzzle and everyone will just sort of in the house now and again sit down and work on it? That's what's been happening as I've left these out at home. You know, we'd be watching TV in the TV room, and this is over on a table, and then someone just sits down and starts working on it. But it is nice to kind of leave it out and have it as something that everybody can kind of work on, or you can work on it yourself. Keep it as your own special little solace. Okay, I'm going to get started here. I'm going to do in between this doorway at this point. You can kind of see the where I'm picking it up. I'll bring the finished one over. I think it's here at the bottom. I'll bring the finished one over so you can see exactly where it's going to end up. So what's cool about this is the shading. And don't sweat it if you're kind of a little wobbly at points. It's really no big deal. I'm going to get that shading going right now. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, and I'll see it go by and we'll get to it. So in this bit of shading here, it says number 24. So I'm just going to choose 24 from my little kit. And this doesn't seem like a ton of paint, but it is plenty. Trust me, I've done quite a few of these now, and I have yet to run out of paint. And all you're doing is exactly what you think. Just get the paint down in the numbered spot. And a couple ways you could go with it. Sometimes I've done it where I'm like, I'm going to finish this whole section. I'm going to finish this whole section, do all the 24s in this section, and then move on to another section. That's sort of been how I've been kind of doing it myself. But I also have done it where it's like, I don't want to have my hand go across anything. So I start in one corner and work my way over. But this one here, I wanted you guys to kind of have something big to see. So I started the door. And kind of to the naked eye, you don't really notice like, oh, is there a big difference between 24, 23, and 22? They're all like basically red. But once you get them side by side, it really just suddenly comes to life. So I think that's pretty cool about these. Like you're going along, it kind of looks like a hot mess for a good while. And then all of a sudden you're like, huh, I guess they knew what they were doing. And we really didn't have to know what we were doing, which is sort of great. Hi, Claire. Hi, Bev. So nice to see such familiar names coming through. I hope everyone's snuggled in tonight. It's a very snowy night here. And kind of a perfect night to be doing a little Christmas painting. I'm going to have my mom and sisters over and give everybody one of these, and we can all have a little, people come over and visit, and you know what I mean? There's tons of holiday stuff like that. And it's like, this is kind of like, hey, here, sit down, take one, have a turn, or everybody work on the same one, on different sides of the painting and do a different number. Yeah. I also love the idea of, maybe giving one of these as a gift to someone. You get the enjoyment of painting it, and then you can gift it to someone else, and, you made it for them. Okay, look, you can kind of see the dog here is going to start to come to shape, but I'm going to do all the little 24 shadings while I'm at it. So this is all part of that door. Kind of move this over a wee smidge so if someone's watching on their phone, they can see it better. There we go. So what's everybody working on? I'd love to hear what you're working on for the holidays. Are people making cards? Are they sewing? Are they making a quilt? Oh, it's sunny and 75 in California, Sandy says. Lucky. It's blizzarding here. The kids are begging for a snow day tomorrow. My kids have like this app that they follow, and it's like a snow day predictor. And so they're like, it's a 99% prediction of a snow day tomorrow. So brace yourselves if you live near here. There's a 99% chance it's a snow day tomorrow. So, if you live near here, you might have kid duty tomorrow. All right, I'm looking for the 24s. I got some big 24s done. I'm now, it's funny how like suddenly you see them and then suddenly you kind of don't see them anymore. And now I'm seeing a bunch of 23s. So I'm probably good to switch over to 23 now. All right, I'm gonna just rinse my brush, and nothing special, plain water here. Paper towel, and then just sort of choose the size of your brush. Like you can see the brushes that come with it. They're wooden handles. You've got the square tipped brush, which is good for bigger spaces, like going down the panels of the door. And then you've got 3 different sizes of pointed, well, these are technically called round brushes, but they've got the tip on it, which helps get in all of those tiny little spaces. So I'm going to use one of those ones for our next color, which is going to be 23. So I'm just opening it up, 23. Oh, that's a bit of a darker red. So we'll really start to see some contrast here. And anywhere we see 23 is what I'm going to put down. If by chance and you happen to dry out your paint pot or you leave it open overnight, I did that. Just add a couple drops of water to it and it'll sort of reconstitute. They're pretty forgiving acrylic paints. So yeah, just add a little bit of water and it'll thin it out again. And don't sweat it if it's not totally perfect or you kind of go outside the lines a wee smidge. No one's going to ever tell. As long as you've sort of covered up the white, you're good to go. There's Kathy Verbeek. Hi, Kathy. We've got a little 23 right here. And just get it on. I feel like that guy who used to be on PBS, who had the painting show. What was his name? Is anyone? That's sort of an American thing, but I still remember him. There is something kind of like, I'm even finding it like, oh, I've got to talk while I'm doing this because I'm, chatting with you guys, but I can kind of see just the draw of locking in and quietly just, working away. All right, I've got a big 23 space here. And it kind of goes in between the little wreath there. So this one here would be considered a level 3. They should have just called it level instead of difficulty, because it kind of makes it sound like it's harder, but you're really just doing the same thing. It's just sometimes in a smaller space. If you're just joining, I am doing a paint by numbers. This is by Winnie's Picks, and I've got shows on the shopping channel on Thursday. So if you're home on Thursday, that's December 11th, I've got shows at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. And then those are my 2 live ones, but sometimes they will replay at different parts of the day, the taped version. So I hope you'll tune in. I'll continue painting this one. We probably will have time to showcase we're going to show all of them. You'll have a chance to, obviously, if you're tuning in here, you'll get a really good chance to see them. But there's obviously way less time when we're on the actual show. So that's why I sometimes like doing this. So if you have any questions, or we can kind of take a bit more time, we can do that here. All right, I love a red door. Our house has a red door, and I just think it looks so nice. Everything always stands out nice on a red door. In fact, fun fact, red door was a name that was floated instead of homemade. And obviously it didn't win, because you can't really, I don't think it won the day, because homemade, it was, at the time we were making things at home when this all launched, and so homemade won. But red door, because I've had 3 houses and 3 red doors, and so that's where that came from. And here we are painting a red door right now. So I'm kind of getting into an area here where I need to be going kind of down straight. I've got like a bigger area. So I'm going to set this one aside and bring in like the square brush. Just like for a little bit of difference, it's going to make, quicker work out of, doing the stroke, and make things go, just make things go a little faster, a little straighter. Bring down that. If you're doing something along the edge like I'm doing here, the flat brush is nice for that. Bob Ross, thank you, Sandy. You're right, Bob Ross. And I'll never be as good as Bob Ross, but we can all channel him with this. If you're not watching from Canada, but you're still interested, just Google Winnie's Picks, and you'll find it somewhere near you. You can buy them online. If you are in Canada, you can just scan that QR code that's on the top of the screen. Where we're this side. Yeah, right here. If you scan it with your phone, you'll be able to peruse all the different paint by numbers. And I'm told by the TSC execs that if you order now or on the shows on Thursday, you will receive it before Christmas. So if you wanted to give it as a gift or have a little paint party as part of your holiday celebrations, that you will get it in time. Now, I'm not responsible for that. That's just what they told me. Who knows? But it's still, the TSC is actually pretty good about getting things out pretty quickly. And I know they have it all in stock, because a lot of these, we've had, this will be my third painting show on TSC in the last little while. And we have sold out every single time. I'm not talking like sold out, like, oh, like not had enough for the next show, sold out. And a lot of these are brand new designs. Like this one here is a brand new design. And I actually asked them to, I don't know what the quantities are. Like before I do the live, I was kind of thinking like, maybe you should tell me what we have the most of, because then people will know like, okay, this, if I want this one, I better move. Or if, okay, I got some time if I want to think about it. But I didn't get that. So sorry, can't share that info. All right. Now, this is not super straight. It's not super perfect. And I'm not worried about it. In the end, it's all going to come together. So you can see here how I'm just sort of like, are we focused enough? Yeah. Hi, Christina. If it's a little too light, you know, and you can kind of see the white through it, like see how I'm just gonna go over that just a wee smidge to darken that up. But it's all personal preference, really. You know, it's not like your painting's wrecked if, you know, you don't go over it. And I really love, like, we're not painting on cardboard here. We're not painting on paper. We're painting on real hardy canvas. Like it's the kind that would be stretched over wood. So again, not really the paint by number you remember as a kid. It's, you know, high quality canvas. The paints are great. All right, time to change it up, I think. I need to go to number 4. Number 4 is the color. Oh yeah, it's just like another sort of a little more rusty orange. And sometimes you look at it and you're like, how is that going to go there? But let's just do it and see. So this is kind of like a terracotta color. And it's supposed to go right in here. So that's where I'll put it. Yeah. See how it's like, suddenly we've got some like, see, I wouldn't have thought to ever use that. Oh, I gotta be careful not to put my hand in it. I wouldn't have never thought maybe to put that, that color beside this red. But once it's on there in beside, it's like suddenly we're able to have like that perfect shading. All right, where else do we have a 4? Right here, a little smidge of 4. Okay. Where else do we have a 4? There we go, right there. 4. That big 4 area. Sometimes, and I'm going to give you this tip now that I've done a few of these, well, more than a few, is that sometimes the number is only indicated on the painting like once, like up here. There's the 4, but it really is going to go through this whole little area. So my tip is to paint over the number last, because I can't tell you how many times I've even just looked up or like taken a drink and been like, where am I? Where is it supposed to go? And I've already painted over the numbers, so I'm not totally sure if it's supposed to keep going or not. So that's my tip, is paint over the number last. All right, any other 4s? I know you guys can't see because it's, you see it? X's pointing out. Oh yeah, there's one right there. Geez, that's youth for you right there. There's one here. Oh yeah, there's a big one right there. Okay, that's some good eyes. Oh yeah, there are some right there. If you're worried about being blind, like not being able to see, I did pull out. I have a lamp. I had these on TSC years ago when I was on with Janome. this daylight lamp. Maybe some of you even have it, and it has a magnifier. If you have a magnifier, I'm going to highly recommend doing something like this if you're worried about not being able to see any of the numbers. I'm trying to get it at an angle that you guys can maybe see it. Yeah, just zoom out a wee smidge. It really does help if you're struggling to see the numbers. 4. So anyway, just a tip that if you have a magnifying light, maybe you have it for sewing or something else, you can pull it out for this too. And I was using it earlier, and it was, you know, I can see the numbers, but you just really see everything super up close. Okay, that's all the 4s. Where's the paint? Oh yeah, I moved it over. Close it up. Half the battle is remembering to close the paint. All right, 3. Again, just another shade off of that terracotta color. And right here on the doorway. I'm going to trust. I have no idea what that is on the door, but I'm just trusting the process here. It's only my job to fill in the numbers and then watch it come to life on its own. Hi, Laura. Thanks for joining in. All right, number 3. Oh, there's a 3. Sometimes it's just nice to have a little something different to work on. You know, sometimes we kind of get caught in like, oh, I've been sewing like crazy, which don't get me wrong, I love sewing. But just to have a little, like if you're creative in one way, you're probably creative in many ways, or you might just enjoy doing something, you know, a little bit different, but not necessarily want to get totally outfitted. Everything you need just comes in the kit. All the paints, all the brushes, all you got to do is add water and paper towel and you're good to go. All right, there's another little 3. Exie, you see any other 3s there? Oh, there's one. Okay. All right, I'm going to bring in number 2. See a few 2s, and then we'll be almost done the door. Oh, we're getting into almost brown. See, this is what's great about the shading, is you kind of learn like, okay, you might think red door, but it's really like red, maroon, pink, orange, brown, to get all of that shading in there. So 2, little 2. And sometimes the shapes, there's all kinds of crazy shapes. So again, if you color over the number last, then it'll help you. However, all of the kits do come with a blank sheet that looks like this. And this has all of the numbers on it, blank. Now, you could color this in if you want, but that's not really what it's meant for. What it's meant to be is a master legend. So if you do inadvertently paint over something and you're like, what number is that supposed to be? You can refer back to that legend and know what number it's supposed to be. And then all of the kits also come with a finished picture of what it's supposed to look like too. If you're kind of like, oh, okay, where am I at? What's this supposed to be? Is that a doorknob or is that a decoration? You know what I mean? All right, I'm going to finish up the 2s here. Hi, Santa. Another 2. This wreath's coming together. 2, 2, 2. 22. I got actually quite a few 22s. So let's switch to 22. Oh yeah, 22 is another red color. Hi, Amanda. All right, 22. I tend to just take it off the lid. I don't know why. Hi, Rajan. Nice to see you here. All right. Oh, of course, there I found a 2 as soon as I switched over to 22. That's okay. So again, if you're just joining in, you could use your little magnifier if you needed a little help with the magnification. A little too much water on that one. It's not quite as forgiving as watercolor to come up, but if the water gets on it, you can just tap it away, and then you're going to just basically paint over it anyway. All right, 22. 22. There, I found another 2. See, this is what happens. As soon as you switch, then you're like, oh, look. It's sort of like I'm getting, this looks like it's sort of either the holly, it's okay, the holly berries on the wreath, or it's the door peeking through behind the wreath. 22, let's see. 21, there's a 22. On occasion, like this just happened. I've had the brushes in the pot of water here. And so they're really kind of just soaking wet. I'm going to wash them and leave them out because I'm finding that when I leave them in the water and then I'm picking up the paint, it's too watery. So wash your brush, let it dry, or let it sit out and dry, and then maybe you'll have a little easier time. Here's a 22. In a couple of spots too, with lighter colors, sometimes I've found you could still see the number even after I painted it. When it dries, just paint over it more, and then you won't see the number through. Okay, there's a 22 up here. All right, we've got lots of like 7s and 8s right now, so let's switch it up. 7, 7, 7. Ooh, haven't used this. 7's sort of a peachy color. It's fun to use a different color. It's like you do so many of the same one, and you're like, okay. And then you really feel wild when you're switching it up. Okay, 7, 7. And you can see, like, I'm not really, it's not perfect. I'm not really, I'm just trying to keep it inside the lines as much as possible. But if it goes over a little, it's not like it catches on fire or anything. Nothing happens. It's going to be fine. All right. Any more 7s in this vicinity? You see, he's pointing at the TV screen. 7, that's good. 21, 12. All right, we've got a few 8s. Ooh, 8's like yellow, or kind of a goldy color. These dry pretty quick. Like the acrylic is pretty good. I was surprised. Like, and I guess too, like I'm a little more familiar with watercoloring, or at least was before I started doing all these shows. And watercolor, like, you know, you get anything on it and you have to like, you know, you have to really watch, but here it kind of dries and you're kind of good to go. So I don't know if you can see there, I'm covering over the number 8. And even though I've painted over it already in gold, I can still see, actually, can you see that number 8 through there? Yeah, I can still see that number 8, and I can still see the number 8 right here. So I'm gonna just keep going with my number 8s. And then once it's dried a wee smidge, I'm gonna come back over, and I'm just gonna go over it one more time, sort of second coat, and then you're not gonna be able to see it. I don't wanna see the numbers through. I want everyone to think I painted this myself. I mean, I did paint it myself. You're going to paint it yourself. No one else is going to paint this for us. But you know what I mean. You don't want to be seeing the numbers. So just go back through. You can also, on the first round, if you see, oh, I can see the number, you can just kind of sort of put a thicker dab of paint on that part too. Usually the thinner the paint, or the more watery your paint, the bigger the chances that you'll see the number. So if you put in kind of a bit of a thicker bit, you don't see it as much. Okay, any more number 8s? I'll let that dry. I'm going to blow it and go back over that first number 8 that I did. See that? Actually, are you seeing the 8 on that one? No. Yeah. See what I mean? You just go over it. Good. And just go over it. And we'll go over it. These ones weren't quite as bad because I did a bit thicker, but oh, there's a number 8 right in the heart of it. Okay, seeing a bunch of number 5s. They sort of jump out at you. Ooh, that's a nice color. It's sort of like pinky mauvey color, number 5. Can't believe I haven't spilt this all over the painting yet. I know that's what you guys were thinking. They are, that's my mom commenting, Penny, that these are so nice. They really are. In just a second, I will switch back over to my other table and I'll go through all of the different designs again. If you weren't here at the beginning, I went through a bunch of the different finished ones that I've already got so that you can see what's going to be on offer and what one you might like to paint. Or you can scan with your phone. If you just hold out your camera, if you put on your camera on your phone and scan the code that's on the top of the screen right here, that's going to take you to TSC.ca. And I don't think the prices are changing on Thursday. I think they've already loaded up the website for Thursday's show, and so that you would be free to shop now, but up to you if you'd rather wait until Thursday. All right, I'm doing all of the number 5s I see here. Is it starting to look like a wreath, you guys? Sometimes when you're doing it like this, you're like, I can't tell what this looks like at this point. But then sort of suddenly it all comes together. Hi, Erica. All right, 5, 5, 5. Any more 5s? Where? Top? Oh, yeah. go. 5. I think the key is that there's like, you're just sort of not leaving any white space. So even if you're not like totally perfect in the line, as long as it's sort of, you haven't left any white space, it's going to come together. All right, I'm seeing some 21s, some 13s. Let's go 13. Oh, that's a green. Really super dark green. Probably need a little of that. Take my brushes out to dry here. Actually, make sure they're not just soaking in the water. Okay, 13. That dark green color. All right, 13. Has anyone ever gone to a paint night like at a local place? I've never gone to one before, but they always seem fun. Although for probably the cost of like one session at a paint night, you could get 4 of these kits, and then you could just have your girlfriends over. And you could kind of do it yourself way less, for way less. All right, what number am I on here? 13. Oh yeah, 13. Okay. Did I really only find 113? No, come on. Must have been more. Okay, what's up next? Let's see. 23, that's what I'm thinking too. Big 23. Oh yeah, it's red. Okay, 23. Oh yeah, that is big. Good eye. I like lots of paint on the tip of the brush for small spaces. Gets right in there. So I'll just finish up this big 23 space, and then I'll go through and show you guys what this looks like when it's done, and some of the other ones that we've kind of got halfway done and all the way done. And if you're just tuning in, these are paint by numbers by Winnie's Picks. It's a company in France. Super nice. Lots of meetings with them and fun to meet them. And they've got some licenses for some, really famous paintings. It's like Water Lilies and, Starry Night by Van Gogh and some of the ones like that. But then they also, employ local artists to, create paintings and stuff for them, which is pretty cool. And that would be this one. And I, found out from them that every kit purchased, a certain amount of the proceeds go towards planting a tree. So I thought that was nice. All right, 23. Any more 23s? 23. Oh yeah, this is still 23 up here. Did anyone get any of these the last time I was on? If so, hi Donna, thank you. If so, leave a little review in the comments. It's always nice for people to hear from people who've tried this before or who got one and gave it a go. I know I had a few people write in asking me when we were going to be on again because they wanted to get some of the new designs. What we found last time, or the last 2 times we were on, that people were getting like 3 or 4 different ones, so that when one ran out, they'd have another one, or they'd work on a couple at a time, so that I was bored of working on like the seascape, so I switched to like the field or whatever. I could see that. Also, like once they're gone, that's the way it sort of works at TSC. Once it's gone, once they're gone until they get more, if they do. And so if they ran out of one, they wanted to make sure they had another one to keep going. So I can see that. All right. Any more 23s? Okay, I'll leave that for now. I'll just push this up, and so that you guys can get a look at, this is what it looks, close this. This is what it looks like when it's done. Nice, eh? That's the golden welcome for the holidays. Lots of people with cute golden retrievers would love to paint that. If you had a black lab or a chocolate lab or, a different colored dog, you could always just change up the colors. No big deal. Like, it's your painting. You can make it as personal as you want. All right, I'm just going to push this up, and I'll bring over the all of the variations so that you can see all the different ones that we're going to have on Thursday. Exie can put up the show times on the screen. So if you're just joining in, there are kind of sets for everyone. We've got some kids sets that are going to be on. We say these are kids, but honestly, I think they're super cute. Like anyone would like them. They're honestly, I love this, like the Christmas bear. Like that, he's so cute. Like I wouldn't think that only a kid would have to do that, but it wouldn't take long to paint this one up. No time at all. I thought we had one halfway done of the bear. Let me see. Oh yeah. He's got some bigger spaces and some smaller spaces. He's so cute. The penguin parade, penguins on the tubes, super cute. I love this one too. And it would be cute to have just like a little series that you could frame that maybe all of your grandkids or, nieces or nephews did, and then you just pull them out every year at Christmas. Frame them up. Super cute. So this one is Trail to the Cabin. Very cool. And just to kind of give you a different, a perspective on all the different ones. Lots of European scapes. So this is the Amalfi Dreams. You can see it halfway done here. Amalfi Dreams. Look at this, the Great Wave off Kanagawa. So this is a Japanese artist. Mediterranean Delight. So if you go on the QR code, you'll be able to scan through all of these, but just to give you a sense of the size, and these frame up beautifully. One of the ones that I did last time was this one here. You can see it. And I just went to a big box store, you know, had a mat with a frame that had a mat. It looks beautiful. Never know, it was paint by number. This one too, I'll show you. This one's Blue Bonnet Rhapsody. Again, inexpensive frame. I think I got this at Michael's frame. And this one's the Blue Bonnet Rhapsody. Look how nice it is. Like, just paint by number. Gorgeous. No one would know. Honestly, no one would know this was paint by number. It looks like real art that would hang up like in your house. Well, literally, you'd be painting like a Monet. So it really is real art. This one's nice, floral bouquet. Lofoten Island. This one's nice, wintry. Poppies by Claude Monet. I love this one. I don't think it even does it justice on camera, but it is very soft. Normandy Lighthouse, watching over sailors. Hi, Kathy. This one's so cute, the Winnie's Bookshop. Again, another dog. You could make him brown or black, whatever color you wanted. Again, it's just acrylic paint, so you could go ahead and use some extra of the brown that's going to come with it, or the, you know, any of the darker colors, or just use some acrylic paint that you might already have, or those little bottles of paint from the craft store. It's just acrylic. So if you wanted to customize something, you could do that. A Norwegian Fjord Cabin. Warm Hearts on Ice. Sort of is like a Times Square feel. This one I know is going to go like crazy. This one, I bet you, I'm going to put my money on this one selling out first. Maybe the Golden Welcome. Usually the one that I'm painting sells out first. Probably because people look at it the longest, but I do think this one's going to, you know, the Cardinals always do well. This one we had on last year, like one of our very first shows, and it sold out too. Yeah. Cute. Lots of like good wintry ones. I think this one's going to also do great. This one's my second favorite after the Golden Retriever one. I love this just for pulling out at Christmas time in a frame, switch it up. You'll have the fun of painting it all through the holiday season, and then the fun of year over year bringing it out again. I like that. Oh, don't you wish you were right in that little door right there right now? Twilight in Winter Hollow, that's what this one's called. And now we're back to the halfway of our Golden Welcome. So that's the finished one that I've been working on. Kind of see it here. I'm gonna keep on going. So if you want to tune in, I will be on TSC. You can check it out down below here. We'll put it on the screen. Thursday, December 11th, 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Or you can shop online at TSC.ca. We've got the QR code if you want to, is it this side? Yeah, take a look at all the ones I just went through here. There's even more. These are just some of the new ones. The offering that they've got online has absolutely everything, so you can check it out there. And I hope you'll tune in. I always love it when you guys are watching, kind of a little less, I don't want to say nerves. I never really feel like super nervous, but I love it when you guys are watching and messaging online, and I know you guys are tuned in. Always makes me feel good. So listen, thank you so much for tuning in tonight and spending a little time while I paint. I'm going to keep on going because I need to have I'm going to try to have the stairs completely done on this one before I'm in the studio, and maybe I'll try to paint the dog in studio, or maybe I'll have the dog and do the stairs in studio because the stairs are bigger, something like that. You'll have to tune in to find out. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again. Bye, everybody.